Hey everyone, and welcome back to another explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today. So, we are going to tackle a topic that I know for a fact every single one of us has experienced firsthand. I'm talking about the deeply, incredibly frustrating reality of unhelpful AI. I mean, we've all been there, right? You're on a website, you just need a super simple answer, and you find yourself angrily typing "talk to a human" in all caps because the chatbot is just sending you in these endless, maddening circles. Well, today, we're going to dissect exactly why that happens and, more importantly, how we can build systems that actually work.
To kick things off, let me ask you something right out of the gate. Would your company's AI chatbot pass the ultimate customer frustration test? Seriously, think about it. If a customer asked a genuinely complex question today, would your bot actually resolve the issue? Or would it just spit out a generic, "I'm sorry, I didn't understand that," and completely tank your customer experience score?
Okay, so here's our roadmap for today. First up, the AI expectation gap. Second, the AI's blind spots. Third, costly business chatbot mistakes. Fourth, upgrading to AI agents. And finally, fixing the AI future.
All right, let's jump right into Section 1, the AI expectation gap. Expectation versus reality. You know, there is just this massive disconnect right now between the perceived magic of AI and actual reality. Businesses roll out chatbots expecting this seamless, futuristic digital assistant, but customers end up feeling ignored. It's like a giant puzzle with missing pieces. Imagine what we call the friction path. A customer starts with a need, the AI gives an unverified or just flat-out wrong answer, and the whole experience completely breaks down into frustration. But then, think about the resolution path. The customer has the exact same need, but this time the AI checks a trusted knowledge base first. The answer is actually grounded in approved information, the customer gets an accurate response, and boom, trust is restored. Honestly, the difference between these two paths is literally what makes or breaks your brand's reputation.
Moving on to Section 2, the AI's blind spots. We are going to lift the hood on LLMs.
So, when a bot fails, we usually rush to blame the software. But the real issues? They're usually baked right into how large language models fundamentally operate. Which brings us to one of my absolute favorite terms in tech right now, the hallucination. A hallucination is when a model doesn't know the answer, but instead of just admitting it, it confidently makes up believable, totally false information. It's kind of funny in a way. AI can sometimes act exactly like that overconfident friend who refuses to admit they're lost and just keeps giving you fake directions with absolute certainty. But obviously, in a business setting, an overconfident liar is the absolute last thing you want talking to your customers.
Let's break down the rule of three for LLM blind spots, the three major technical limitations. First, you've got static knowledge. LLMs only know what they were trained on. Without external tools plugged in, if you ask a basic LLM for today's weather, it literally has no idea. It might just guess based on old data. Second, as we just discussed, hallucinations. They will completely invent studies that do not exist. And third, limited reasoning. LLMs just aren't planners. They don't have the autonomy to make decisions, and crucially, they do not know how to recover from an error. If a step fails, they basically just freeze up or break, unless you've given them very specific extra logic.
On top of all that, LLMs are essentially amnesiacs. They have extremely limited long-term memory. So every single time you open a new session, they are starting with a totally blank slate. Think about how frustrating that is for a user who's trying to resolve an ongoing support ticket. Without a built-in memory architecture, the AI forgets everything you talked about yesterday, and you're forced to start entirely from scratch.
Let's head into Section 3, costly business chatbot mistakes, or as I like to call it, the hidden revenue drain.
These technical blind spots we just covered, they don't just result in funny screenshots on social media. They translate into massive, real-world revenue drains. Take this striking statistic from PwC. 59% of consumers will walk away from a brand after several bad experiences. Nearly 60%. This is exactly why getting your AI right is absolutely crucial. When a chatbot gives a bad answer, it's not just a single failed conversation. It is actively eroding customer retention and destroying your brand trust.
And wow, the financial cost is staggering. Research from Gartner shows that poor data quality costs organizations an average of $12.9 million annually. Poor training data is the root cause of most chatbot training issues. It leads directly to irrelevant answers and major public relations nightmares. We've all seen those famous viral failures like Microsoft's early AI chatbot that totally went off the rails because of poor training controls. You simply cannot build a smart chatbot on top of bad data.
But here's the good news. Every user symptom maps to a specific technical fix. If you're seeing inaccurate answers, well, poor training data is usually the culprit, so you need to retrain with reliable sources.
Getting a lot of abandoned chats? That points to weak conversation design, so you need to simplify those conversation paths. If the bot is giving incorrect information, you're dealing with AI hallucinations, which means you need to implement RAG. And frequent requests for a human, that means there's no clear escalation path, and you've got to enable a seamless handoff. Every single problem has a specific technical solution.
All right, Section 4, upgrading to AI agents. Let's bridge that technical gap. It's time to shift our focus to the real heroes here, the modern solutions that actually fix those foundational flaws we just diagnosed. Let's dive into the exact process of retrieval augmented generation, or RAG for short. It is a brilliant 5-step process that grounds AI in absolute truth. Step 1. The user asks a question. Step 2. Instead of letting the AI just wildly guess, a retriever steps in. Step 3. That retriever pulls accurate, approved information directly from your secure knowledge base. Step 4. That factual data is handed over to the LLM. And finally, Step 5. The LLM formats that data into a final, polished answer. By forcing the AI to basically read your verified documents before it speaks, RAG almost entirely eliminates those made-up answers. So, the real game changer here is understanding the evolution from a traditional chatbot to an AI agent. A traditional chatbot just answers questions. Sure, it can give you information, but it gets completely stuck on complex requests. An AI agent, on the other hand, takes action. It makes decisions and completes tasks autonomously. The difference is stark. It's the difference between a bot that can merely give you a tracking number and an agent that can actually go in and fix your delivery issue all on its own.
Let's look at how this plays out in a real-world scenario. Say a customer realizes they need to change their delivery address. A basic bot would just hit a wall and say, "Please call support." But look at what an AI agent does. It checks the order status to see if it's already shipped. It securely verifies the customer's identity. It updates the delivery address in the back-end system itself. It confirms the changes with the user, and it completes the entire request without any human intervention whatsoever. It executes a multi-step workflow flawlessly. Now that is the true power of an agent.
Finally, Section 5, fixing the AI future. Let's talk best practices and optimization.
Now, knowing how to build an agent is fantastic, but we also need to cover the proactive best practices required to prevent failures before you ever launch to the public. You can't just build a bot and push it live. You need a really rigorous testing framework. This means verifying intent mapping to ensure it actually understands weird user phrasing. You got to run regression analysis so a new update doesn't break your old features. You need to perform load and stress testing to make sure it survives high traffic. And you absolutely must conduct guardrail testing for safety to catch inappropriate outputs, use A/B testing for prompt optimization, and always launch a real user beta first. A bot that is launched too quickly without testing those weird, unexpected edge cases is absolutely doomed to fail.
And you know, beyond all the technical fixes like RAG and agent workflows, we absolutely have to consider information safety. Strict content boundaries are essential for enterprise security. Without proper guardrails, content moderation, and human-in-the-loop fallback systems, you run the very real risk of your chatbot spreading dangerous misinformation or inappropriate, unverified outputs. Safety layers aren't just a nice-to-have. They are a fundamental requirement to protect your brand and your customers.
So to wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a provocative thought, something to help you audit your own AI strategies. Take a hard look at your existing digital support systems and ask yourself, would you build your current chatbot again today, or is it time to finally let an agent take over? Because if your current system is just an amnesiac that makes up facts and frustrates your customers, well, it might be time to stop patching it and start building the future. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive. Stay curious, keep learning, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.